But yeah, I'll be down in Mexico City, February 23. It'll be against Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe, I consider him a friend of mine. A lot of people in the grappling community know him because he had an exhibition match against Gordon. It was during one of Gordon's life-threatening illnesses that he had. You start to lose count now. It was during one of his health retirements, when he came out of retirement, he had an exhibition match for Flo. He said, hey, give me Phil Rowe, give me these conditions. Flo said, hey, don't even lube it up, go in dry, brother, because we are taking that deal. And it was a good match. I think he submitted him a few times, had some cool exchanges and shit. It's actually fun to watch. It's a fun way to do it. I think Gordon probably ended up in hospital afterwards on dialysis with health problems. I think he's retired now of everything except for ADCC. I can't even keep up. He's off defending the southern border or some shit like that. Very fucking confusing career choice. I don't know what's going on with that. He said he's doing ADCC. I think who the fuck knows, hey? Call his therapist if we want to figure this shit out. I don't even know how I got down this rabbit hole, but yeah, I'll be facing Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe faced Nicky Rod. Nicky Rod couldn't finish him. That enticed me to do the match because I said, hey, if Nicky Rod couldn't finish him and I can finish him, that means when I finally return to B-Team, I can say, hey, kiss the ring, mate. The king of B-Team is back, and he is a mid-30s cocaine and Xanax addicted professional athlete, and he just submitted an opponent you didn't submit. So that's what I'm in it for, and to see my Mexican people, Mexican ground karate, the home of Mexican ground karate. I've never competed in Mexico. I'll take any excuse to go to Mexico. I go as far as Tijuana, and obviously that's just for my Anthony Bourdain level interest in the Chinese food down there. You know, I'll try anything, and you can get anything in Mexico. But yeah, karate combat, but we'll be in the pit. Karate combat's actually fucking really stirred my interest because the shape of the pit is sick. It's not fence wrestling. If I shoot on you and your back hits the wall, there's a platform for me to drive you into, and you can use the wall to stay up. But the pit, given its angle, if I shoot, you can't sprawl. Your feet are going to hit the base of the pit. Like maybe you jump your feet up the pit and do some fucking young Anthony Pettis shit, but how many people are going to do that, you know? For me, I think if you shoot a double, there's no ability to sprawl. You can just run them into the pit wall, so it changes things. Given how much it changes things and what an analytical brain I am, do you think I've even tried training in the pit? Fuck no. We'll just see what happens when we go out there. Another interesting factor is a man with my world-renowned bad cardio. Mexico City is quite high. It's quite high altitude. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. All I know is when people go to Peru and they do Machu Picchu, they chew cocaine leaves. So maybe me doing cocaine before a match will help with the altitude sickness. I tell you what, there's only one way to find out, and that is to hit the bag the second I get off the plane. It's got to help because that altitude is going to kill me. We were just at 3,500 meters in Kazakhstan, and walking to take a piss took the breath out of me. I thought I was fucking going into cardiac arrest. So these are all interesting things that mean I could probably lose this match. But Karate Combat trialed out the grappling, the pit submission series, right? Sounds fucking sick. And Luke, South African warrior, Griffiths, went out there and he grappled against Wagner Hoscher. Now again, Luke, 6'5", fucking jacked, man, huge fucking guy. Again, one of the best grapplers in the world. He went out there and he lost to Wagner. Wagner is 40-something years old, significantly smaller. Wagner's not 6 foot. Wagner's probably not 93 kilos. Wagner, I think he fought at lightweight in the UFC. And he came out and he gassed Luke out. Like, Luke got to a front head submission, lost it, and then Wagner took him down twice. One of those exchanges he took his back. The other exchange he just finished on top, and he got the win over Luke, which is fucking crazy. And I feel like didn't get enough attention. Obviously New Wave can suck a bag of dicks, but those guys are good. Luke Griffiths is fucking good. That is a shocking upset, and that's not me being like, oh, Wagner's bad. Wagner was undersized, and he's at the tail end of his career. He's just thriving through the hormone replacement industry of Florida. But yeah, that was an upset for the ages. That's one of the biggest upsets I've seen in recent time. That was a match that when it was booked, everyone, including myself, said, why would you do that? Why would you do that, Wagner? You must not need the money, or you must just fucking have some giant testicles. But again, if you're on TRT therapy like myself, we know you don't have giant testicles, because me personally, after I come, my right one shoots back up inside my body. I have to push that thing out. So it's like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's the price you pay for greatness. But yeah, Wagner taking that out, very, very impressive. And if I was Wagner, I'd never take the rematch. You couldn't offer me enough money in the world to take that again. I ride off into the sunset, send him a message every now and then to remind him who's boss. But then Big Dan went out and faced Max Gimenez. And I don't know what happened. Supposedly Big Dan got injured, but I refuse to believe that. Big Dan lost, and there was a crazy photo of him afterwards covered in blood. So obviously bad night for New Wave, but it was a great night for Karate Combat. I know Asim's friends with the New Wave guys, so he gave those guys those matches. But in terms of the promoter, 2 big upsets like that is great for the organization. The only thing I will say is what disgusted me was that none of the competitors decided to wear the gi pants and belt that a typical Karate Combat match has. That's part of the reason I'm doing this, to look like a fucking sick cunt in some fucking Karate Combat pants and belt. That's how me and Phil Rowe are going at it. Or maybe we have the fight for copyright because Phil Rowe wears the Bulls uniform, I wear the Bulls uniform. We both fight for the honor of being sued by the Chicago Bulls, which, please, I hope never happens, because it's a parody. I believe we're protected by parody law. Obviously, there's an inside joke there about what a bull is. If you don't know what a bull is, search on Urban Dictionary cuck, and then search on Urban Dictionary what a bull is. That's where we're going with the Austin Bulls. But yeah, that's it. That's for the Karate Combat. Me versus Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe, friend of mine. Again, gonna be a good time. 10-minute match. 10-minute match in altitude. We should have done a 3-minute match, to be honest. But it's a bit of a warm-up match. Not a warm-up match because, yeah, I could lose this shit. I could lose to anyone. But a bit of a warm-up match because I haven't been active. Last match against Gerard Mearshart, and then Fight Pass twisted my arm with a Lovato match. Lovato's always been a name I've wanted to compete against. So I faced Lovato March 3rd in Vegas. That's another factor that twists my arm. If it snows in Mexico City, it's a blizzard in Vegas. You know what I mean? Allegedly might have even hit the slopes before a match one time against one of the best ever. But I thought it would clear my nasal congestion. It did not. Not recommended. But yeah, we have a match against Lovato, Rafael Lovato. I will say it's a match I've tried to book. Promoters have said, hey, who you want to face? I want to face Lovato. And that's not because I see a strategic weakness in Lovato. If anything, it's because I check his age and he's a little older. And you might see that as vulnerability, but my counter argument would be, I think we both probably have the same age heart, given the damage and mileage mine has on it. My lifestyle is a great equalizer. It's the reason we look the same age, me and Lovato. But he's 40 and I am 32, I think. But yeah, this is a match, again, I've always wanted. We've never been able to get it done. Flo, I tried to get Flo to book it. They couldn't make it happen. Fight Pass, we've tried in the past. We couldn't make it happen. But Stephen Tecchi got it done. He booked it. And we got the main event for this one. Lovato, again, the reason I want this match is because there's key names that are pivotal when you're coming up. Sometimes if you ask a grappler who influenced you the most, it's going to be based on who was famous and who was doing well at a lower belt for these guys, right? So like if who was a big name competitor when you were a purple belt, and when I was a purple belt, guys like Lovato they were the big names of my generation. So for me, when I was a purple belt aspiring professional competitor, those are the names that I was like, holy fuck, it'd be sick to have a match against these guys, sick to beat these guys. And now as I get older in the grappling world, these guys are retiring, so it's not too many opportunities for me to face these gentlemen. But yeah, shout out to UFC Fight Pass for getting that booked. Obviously, I'm not coming in with a crazy camp or anything like this. Like, I'm helping Volks. I've been traveling around, putting my body through hell, jet lag hell. But that's not to say I've not been studying tape, technique, coming up with game plans, trying my best to get in shape. Unfortunately got staff right now, but we'll be back training soon, and hopefully get a couple of good results. Like obviously when I pick opponents, I see a path to victory. If I don't see a path to victory, I don't take the match, or if I do take the match, we put that money up and we try to change the rules as best we can. I criticize Gordon, I'll be like, oh, you pick your opponents, you pick your rules. Well, guess what, my friends? It's called leverage. I'll fucking do the same thing if I can. I just have less leverage. But yeah, this will be a fun one. Honestly, be a fun one. It's a tough one. Lovato will have a bit of weight on me, a bit of size. He's better looking than me. Allegedly, his dick's bigger, but that remains to be seen. We'll see that in the showers after the match, in the victory lap. But yeah, March 3rd, Las Vegas, and then February 23, Mexico City. I want to be in Mexico City for 2-3 nights. I'll probably hang around. I want to watch the Brian Ortega Yair Rodriguez rematch. Super curious to see how that goes. Ortega, that beautiful bastard, he fights once every fucking solar eclipse, but how can you blame him with the amount of pussy he must be fighting off on a daily basis? That's part of the reason I think he's such a good grappler, is just he's always throwing down with some fucking women out there. So that'll be a great card to see. I don't know who's on the March 3rd. There's a March 3rd or 4th UFC, or maybe March 2nd. I think it was originally meant to be in Saudi Arabia, but it got moved to the Apex. And we got Nicky Rod, Roberto Jimenez in the co-main. Roberto, one of the most exciting grapplers in the world. I believe he has a victory over Nicky Rod, just based on the particular rule set they were doing. But that's going to be a scrap. Roberto Jimenez has a level of mental illness where he just throws caution to the wind and goes for the kill. I remember I competed against him at Flow Grappling, got the W early in his career. He's kind of vulnerable to heel hooks, so I got the W and I said, hey, let's never do that again.